All right, so we got the black-green Perona, bro.
So yeah, hi, I'm Wild Pasta Pirate, trying out my green-black Perona listing. Just go over everything that's in my list. Currently, I'm running 3 Samurai. Simple as put, it's pot agreed for the deck.
Why are you not 4?
4 is not bad. Sometimes you just get it and you don't have enough targets on board to actually make use of it. Like you can play a Momo and it just doesn't survive, or something along the lines. You know, typically you don't always have the targets.
Okay, so you feel like, how often are you resolving Samurai in a
Pretty
match?
often, to be
It's
honest.
consistent, okay.
Like your hardest matchup is honestly probably black, just because black can get rid of your Momos very easy, so you can never set up with what you need to. Like the deck really relies on you being able to set up early, playing out your Momos and Otamas. I run 4 Otamas because, simply put, Otama's a 2k counter. She can search out most of the deck. There is about, what is it, 4, 8, 12, 14. There's about 23 targets that is Lana Wano. Momo can search out most of them, while Otama can only search herself. And then, of course, Momo's the next card in the deck.
Oof, the winners.
So Momo can search out himself. He can search out Otama. Preferably, you go turn 1, you set up a Momo, and then next turn you can search with it. Hopefully find an Otama, play out that Otama, and that Otama will find you a Samurai, and then you can set up for next turn. Or if you're really lucky, you can find like a Hiyori. I run 2 of. And then the Hiyori can obviously play you out the main hitter in the deck, which is going to be your Ryuma.
Oh my gosh.
So
Are you excited for the ults in the next set?
As long as they actually do the trait properly, because I've noticed that most of the time the trait just says monsters, it doesn't say Lana Wano.
Oh shit.
So you can't play the alt art because it's not technically legal.
Damn.
So you
that
can't
would be...
it's legal, but you can't search it. That's the problem.
No, absolutely, yeah.
So like that's the only issue with that. So
now, are you actually searching with your Otamas, or is it just 2K search? Like, are you searching out 2K?
A lot of the time, I end up playing the Otama just to get the search, because sometimes you do just need that early potential. It does suck sacking a 2K, but there are a lot of times where you can just recoup that 2K.
Right. So like if you have this in hand, like these 2 in hand, like you're not really losing, because at the end of the day you can just rest your searcher, right? And then just keep comboing
like,
and shit.
If you get like an opening hand where you get like an Otama, a Samurai, and like anything else low cost, you're practically eating good. It doesn't have to be a Momo instantaneously. As long as you have at least like some of these pieces in your hand to make good, you want to be able to capitalize off of Ryuma going. I prefer to play going first. The reason why is because when I'm able to go on my 3 Dawn, my 3rd turn when I have 5 Dawn, I can just go Samurai. I can go play out Hiyori over any other 1-drop that I have on the board prior. Play out Samurai, resting them in the Hiyori, draw me 2 free cards, pop a Hiyori effect to play out the Ryuma, and then draw a 3rd free card. Oof. Like it's just 3 cards on your 3 Dawn turn, and you're already set up. Like
that's crazy.
It feels good. If it works out perfectly fine, it feels really great.
Yeah, that's insane.
So besides that, we only run as well 2 Ezos. It does feel kind of low, but you don't necessarily need the Ezo too much because the deck does provide a lot more aggression. You know, you're dropping Morias to try to bring you back Borsalinos and stuff like that. Like you have a bunch of blockers that are reoccurring. So counters not necessarily needed because you're just using your blockers.
Right.
You're saving your counters more for like when you're at that end game when you're trying to survive. You know, when you're trying to close out and everything like that. At the moment, I'm testing out 2 Lunas, just because I think Luna's a pretty interesting card. Perona does provide the -1 cost, so you can basically rest the entire board. Your opponent plays out a Moria, you know, you can just basically rest out anything. It feels pretty good. The trigger does also rest up any of your opponent's characters. It does not matter the cost.
Oh, snap, okay. Wow.
So, even if you get lucky off of this, it could just save your ass. Because that's the problem with this deck. It starts to run out of momentum kind of fast.
Yeah.
Because once you play everything and you start to hit all your targets, you start to lose a lot of steam. So once you whiff all your searches, you're basically relying on the rest of the deck, which is all black.
Have you? How often are you resolving Luna? Just if you don't mind me asking.
Honestly,
it's some tech, obviously, but like I feel like it hurts like what Dofi and maybe some.
It hurts a lot of the decks that are just kind of going wide, kind of too fast. So if you're going against like Reiju,
maybe Reiju, oh my gosh,
Hunter's gonna stop Reiju. This is blue.
If you see that, oh my god, you're eating so good against Reiju.
It doesn't feel good in the yellow matchups, and it doesn't feel good in the black.
In the black, gotcha.
That's basically what the 2 matchups are. Doesn't feel good in, but it not stops, but it helps in a lot of the.
Oh, this actually stops Jack, bro.
Yeah,
it's 7 or less.
Yeah,
oh
so they
shit.
play a Jack out, you just stop Jack from doing what Jack does.
Oh, but wait. actually technically...
Well, Jackson 11 cost you pop an Ice Age on it. It's a lot more work, but it's,
Gotcha.
it's something that still does. So like,
Stunning it for 4 though?
it stops, it stops a lot of cards. Like if you work with it, it does good.
I can see the combo potential behind it, especially with Perona ability.
Yeah.
That's nice, bro.
And the last 2 that I'm playing for green is just Krieg, because Krieg, I think, is just a general good card. If you can set up a turn prior with just stunning something with your opponent attack, you can just play out a Krieg and just penalize them really hard. Plus he has a double attack, so if you are on the back foot, you need to start getting that momentum back. Krieg alone can just help you. A lot of the time the opponents kind of get scared and like they want to get rid of them instantly. So if you've already played all your other things and they're busy dealing with those, and Krieg's like one of your last options, you drop them, they don't get rid of it. It's like 9-drop Zoro. You're going to have a bad time.
Yeah. So basically you're punishing people for going wide with these 2 with these 4 cards, essentially.
Yeah, it tries to help control because unfortunately the deck doesn't have a lot of removal. It's just more one character form of removal, not multiple character removal. So you need some things like this to try to slow down if you can't play that aggressive.
Ah, very spicy. I like it.
And then for black cards, finally, I'm going into 3 16 pistols just to have the additional cost. Because of course, as you'll see, as the deck goes on, there's a lot of non-counter or just high end in the deck that can just affect you. Or in this case, just a lot of 1Ks that get you not enough.
I'm curious, why do you, just a question for myself. Why do you run this 0 cost over the green 0 cost? Because doesn't the...
It's preferability.
Oh, okay.
So you can run the... So it really just comes down to, if you're going to see it in your life, you're just going to see it in your life. You have no control over it. So you just have to think about, what do you prefer more? Would you rather draw a card, or would you rest a character that's most of the time not going to be on the field or has already swung and you're not going to be able to target anyways?
Okay.
So if you're in a predicament where you need that card and you don't necessarily need this, you can just use trigger, draw a free card, and you never know, you draw your Moria, and that's what you needed to win.
Okay, so it's for the draw, essentially.
That's why I personally run it over the grade, just for the draw power.
Gotcha, and it's also the
it's situational where you pop a 1 cost. So you're going against blue, they leave a Sengoku on board. Haha.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Gotcha.
And of course, like every single black deck, you have to run before Ice Ages. Ice Ages just synergizes way too well. As I stated earlier, Ice Ages goes really well with the Luna. To be able to stop any single card in the game, especially Jackson, since it's an 11 cost that stops anything in the game.
Dude, these went up, didn't they? Like, they're like almost $40 each now, aren't they?
Probably. Thank God I got them cheap. And then plus the Ice Age, and with Kree, you can pop basically anything. Your opponent goes, oh, nice board, I'm gonna play Moria, 4-drop. Do the whole standard Lucci combo, and right? You go, okay, that's cute. I'm gonna go Ice Age, rest your Moria, Ice Age on your Moria, rest your Moria, play out Gecko, pop it, and something else that you just
play your own Gecko into Ryuma.
Yeah, pop your Lucci, whatever it is, and like, yeah, pop the Lucci and the Gecko. Keep your Rebecca blocker cool. So it just goes from there.
Yeah, no, Ice Age is just so slept on, I feel like.
And then of course, the boy, the man, the myth himself. I run 4 Borsallinos. Just because Borsalino is probably one of the best blockers in the game, given the stat line of just being a 6K during your opponent's turn, and he has the protection of just not being able to be KO'd. You have to verse blue. Blue has to bottom deck him, otherwise your opponent's gonna have a bad time or having basically no chance of removing him.
Yeah, so in the black matchups, like how
he comes in
so clutch, right?
But they can't pop him, they can't do nothing with him. He's just on immovable body.
Yeah,
basically.
there's no trigger. I mean, the only way they're removing it is like they have to see the Brook, right? Like that's literally
they have to be running Brook, or they have to be running the new 9 Kaido.
And I feel like people are taking Brook out of their list as of recently. I have not been seeing that card as much.
I don't think many Luchis are playing it either. So besides that, he feels really good. A card as well that feels really good in the deck is Sabo, of course. The idea and identity of the deck is just draw power. I want to draw to see my big boys so I can literally just, KO pop everything.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know how it looks. It's messy.
No, you're good. I'm gonna clean you up, bro. I got you.
But of course, Sabos are self-explanatory. They play onto the field. You draw your 2 cards. You trash your 2 cards. You fix your hand. Say you're in a predicament where you don't need Kriegs or Ryumas. Or there's a time where you have, let's say, Hiyori in hand, Ryuma, you're wanting to set up for next turn, so you play a Sabo, you pitch the Hiyori or whatever it is, and then next turn when you go Moria, you can just do full combo.
Right.
So it's all about helping you set up as well. And then to add to that, I don't know, let's see, adding out 2 one-legged toy soldiers. Toy Soldier, it's all about personal preference. You can run Toy Soldier or you can run Helmeppo. The reason why Toy Soldier feels better in this deck is because it's not immediate value. You can play him out on the field and then just basically sit with it. If they decide to remove it, cool, I didn't really care. It's on your own leisure. And it feels better that way. So The combo line is if you go with Moria, you play out Moria. Moria brings back Toy Soldier and Hiyori. That way you can use Toy Soldier to target who you want to pop, and then play out the Ryuma off the Hiyori.
Gotcha.
Or say if you're gambling, because that's what this deck is a lot of the time, you're gambling sometimes. Say you're at 10 Dawn, you play out your Moria, you play out the one-legged and the Hiyori. You go Be My Samurai to rest whatever is active. Say you rest the Moria and then plus like the Hiyori.
I've seen you do that sometimes because you're like, hey bro, like swing into my Moria, it's a 9k body.
Yeah, you want to commit
Use your
Dawn to swing into
yeah.
a 9k Moria, then more power to you. I got a 9k blocker in field.
I've definitely seen you use that. It's like, damn, this feels really bad because he knows that I'm not going to swing into the Moria, and he's getting draw 2 off of
and
it.
so
So
you go and attack it, then okay, well, he did his job basically. He
Right.
did what he was supposed to do, which is give me the removal.
right.
So yeah, so you just gamble, draw your 2 cards. Hopefully you find a Ryuma if you're hurting that bad. That's why he's a 4 in the deck. I dragged him at 3. I just never seen him, so I boosted him back up to 4 because like he's just totally needed.
Right.
If you don't see this Ryuma, the deck just feels kind of really bad.
No,
Because
I
you're just
feel you.
playing blocker galore over here.
Right.
And of course, more 2K counters. We got to play the girl herself, Shuru. Give us the -2 reduction.
So why are we on 4 Suru? Can you talk me through that? What your mindset is behind Suru at 4?
It's mostly just to help out the 2K counter consistency, because we currently only have 2, 4, 8, and then 12 blockers in 2Ks.
Yep.
And that these 2Ks here will be getting played more than anything. So we
Okay.
aren't really on 12 2Ks.
So you realize like, hey, I'm going to be playing this for the search, so I'm going to need more 2Ks to fucking replace the fucking, you know, my searcher basically.
100%.
Gotcha.
So that's basically what that comes down to, because they're very much so needed. And then besides that, what else is it? True, just also provides that -2 cost that you might need. So you can just go leader ability -1, and then True -2 onto a what is that, a 7 cost. Be able to pop with a Ryuma if it's already rested.
Feels nice.
So like there's a lot of things that it can play into, or if you're just needing to be able to go Shuru, Electric Luna. And,
oh,
you know,
just to resolve the Luna. That's
yeah,
nice too.
You can just do that as well. You go Shuru, rest something, use leader ability, rest it, and then just go Luna. So it has a bunch of it's versatile. It's basically the simplest way to put it. It's very versatile.
Gotcha.
It can help make everything do a lot of setup.
Puts everything live. I gotcha.
And then the boy himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who needs to be banned that everyone loves to complain about.
Gecko.
Gecko fucking Moria, baby.
Oh, jeez.
I don't think he needs an introduction. I don't
Nope.
think he needs an explanation. But simply put, Moria here likes to revive the Borsellino. He likes to revive the Ryuma. He likes to revive the Hiyori and Toy Soldiers.
So you have 10 targets total. So the Borsi, the Ryuma, and then Hiyori's.
Main targets, because if you are feeling down
Right.
and you need some more search potential or just luck, you can also just play out the Momos or the Otamas to do further digging.
Gotcha.
So it just basically comes down to that. Or there's even times as well, like if you just need to rest a blocker, you can play out Moria. It's very convoluted, but at least the steps are there. So you can play out a Moria, Toy Soldier, or a Shuru, be able to give something a minus cost, and then play out the Izo off the Moria as well. Preferably, I guess, these two, because they're both instant. So you just do that, rest any blocker they put up, like a Sabo or something like that you couldn't deal with unless otherwise. So you can rest it, hopefully go for game, not really, but
Yeah.
that's just the idea behind it. You know, at least there's some things like that that can happen.
Gotcha.
And then the last 2 cards of the deck, or which are kind of my spicy targets, and I've seen a lot of people starting to play him more, mostly due to Black Lower Luffy, is 10-drop Kuzan.
Okay.
I think 10-drop Kuzan is perfectly fine in this list. I am testing him out, but I think he does feel really well. He allows everything in your deck to just play cheaper. Like, I don't have to commit as much in order to KO certain aspects.
Gotcha.
So you have, like, Krieg's a really good example of this, and so is Electric Luna. In our match that we played, you played out a 10 mom on me, and you played a 9 mom on me. I dropped Kuzan, and then next turn I followed up with a Krieg, popping
dude.
a 9 drop and a 10 drop. Like,
Insane.
when it's synergized like that, it feels really
It's so
well.
nice, right?
And you are, if you're ballsy and you're able to set up two
Two
Kuzans, you're doing whatever you want.
Basically win, yeah.
Yeah, you're
It's
basically doing whatever you
GGs.
want. And then it just also helps payers with the Luna. So like, say like your opponent's on the upper foot, they're just sitting there whooping your butt. They attacked you with a full board, and you're just kind of on the back foot or whatever it is. You're able to just have a Kuzan let up, rest the entire board no matter what, and then still capitalize off anything else, because you only have wasted 3 Dawn. You still have 6 Dawn to play a Krieg maybe to pop your things, and you can still play blockers. Like, you have
Right.
options. That's why it's good as a low cost.
So hardest matchups. What are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you just like hate seeing? What do you like? Oh my god, bro! Like, I cannot deal with this deck.
I personally hate going against Enel.
Oh, okay, and now.
It's only because it's just so random. Not necessarily random, because we all know what yellow does.
That's going in your life, and if that's going in your life, you're having a bad time.
Yeah, it happens a lot of times. You'll go against them, you'll drop the Krieg, trying to get some early damage or whatever it is. They'll just go Katakuri, put it.
Yeah.
The worst part about it is when they Katakuri punish you by putting one of your big bodies into your life.
Yep.
It doesn't necessarily hurt all too much, but it does fuck up the momentum of it.
Yeah, because these are your boss. I mean, the only other boss card you have is the 10-drop Kuzan, right?
Yeah.
Because you're...
Like, these are the deck's boss monsters right
Right.
here. There's Krieg, 10-drop, and Gecko Moria.
Yeah.
Legitimately so. The deck is really, let me draw what I need and defend myself until I get to my big bodies, and then recycle. That's
Gotcha.
kind of how the deck wants to play, and it feels kind of good that way. So this is a standard list. The only cards that I would not necessarily recommend taking out, but if you were to want to change them, would be the Kuzans and the Lunas, because these are basically both temporary just testing grounds. I'm just trying them out. They're trials.
Gotcha.
But everything else in the list is what I do run and do what I do like running to run.
No, it looks super clean. I like the list, man, honestly. Any pointers for Perona players looking to get into the deck and just like... they're like looking at this and they're scratching their heads like, where do you go from here? Like, what is your main objective? It kind of looks like you're having like a heavy draw into searching what you need, and then like you said, basically like walling up with your Borsellino, your Sabos, and then late game you just go crazy with your Geckos and start spamming stuff on board.
Yeah, that is kind of the issue with the deck, because when you do look at it, it looks like it could do a lot, but at the same time when you're playing it, it does feel kind of clunky. You have to go in with an idea of what you're trying to accomplish, especially against a certain matchup that you're going against. You have to have a plan in some shape or form of what you're trying to accomplish. So like, when I go against Enel, I don't mind seeing a Kuzan early off in my hand, because what does Enel do all the time? Drop 8, 9, 10 bodies.
Yep.
So I need that additional cost removal. Plus he's a 10k body that can just swing into whatever they play afterwards.
That's true.
So he helps me keep up the momentum and the pressure that's needed. That's why I like this in the yellow matchup. Against a green matchup, you're not necessarily going to run into that too much, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I think it should be pretty even. When it comes to the blue matchup, have fun. Pudding just says all that hard work was null and void. So if you don't get pudding, you're not too bad. If you do get pudding, it's not the end of the world. I've been pudding twice, and I got right back to 12 cards in hand like it never happened. So just because I had 12 cards doesn't mean they weren't all bricks, but... But that's also another thing too. You have to be very wary with what you're deciding to get rid of at any time, because it can come back and bite you. Simple as that. You have to be wary of when you want to decide to pitch out certain cards, because you might need those for later or to help you perform an alley-oop. And sometimes you have to think 5D chess or way in advance to pitch something off a Moria that you're planning on hopefully dropping soon. So like I said, an example with the Moria is just pitching out a Hiyori if you didn't already counter it out. That way you can establish a Toy Soldier plus Hiyori combo to go into a Ryuma.
Okay.
So like you're just drawing, like I said before, 3 off the Samurai and Hiyori.
Crazy.
So, yeah, so turn 1's you're
built-in Kaido.
Low cost. Yeah, it feels so good, man. Like the deck feels really fun. It feels really good. If you know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! And you know Pot of Greed, I think everyone knows what Pot of Greed does. If you don't know, it allows you to draw 2 cards. That's what this deck is. The deck's identity is, let me draw 2 cards and hopefully drop some bodies and see what I can do with it.
All right, man. Thank you for the deck profile. I appreciate it, bro.
No, of course.